knowing about the forced convection problems. In the case of forced convection problems, all the convection problems, they are represented as Nusselt number equal to as a function of Reynolds number and Prandtl number. When it comes to natural convection problems, the same Nusselt number is obtained as a function of Grashof number and Prandtl number. So from variation of problems, suppose if the flow is happening externally, if the flow is happening on another occasion internally, if the flow is happening on cylindrical surface, if the flow is happening on spherical surface, if the flow is happening on bank of surfaces. So therefore, depending upon situation of the convection problems, so the combination of Nusselt number, Reynolds number and Prandtl number and the connectivity also will be changing. So from curve fitting method, we get the appropriate relationship. So that is how. But anyhow, that and all is not there in the syllabus now. So here, all the convection problems, they try to be presented in terms of Nusselt number, Reynolds number, Prandtl number. This is valid only for forced convection. In the case of natural convection, the Nusselt number is represented as Grashof number and Prandtl number. And now, using of these relations, how to work out the problems that we are discussing about. So let us start with. See here, while solving any of the problems on convection, certain guidelines we have to follow. What we have to follow? These are called as, what is that? 7 rules to be followed while solving the convection problem. First, you must decide. So, after going through the given problem, you must decide whether the given problem comes under natural convection or forced convection. How do you differentiate? So, that is, in the problem, if velocity is given, that is forced convection problem. That is forced convection problem. If no velocity is there, that is natural convection problem. That is natural convection problem. If velocity is not there, natural convection, so then what else will be the effect to create the momentum means, that is density. That is density is given, that is what is a natural convection problem. So this is what we will identify. So whether the problem comes under natural convection or forced convection, then we must decide whether the flow is happening externally or internally. For internal flows, there is one kind of relationship is available for Nusselt number. For an external flow, another kind of relationships are available. So therefore, based on the flow also, then what else we have to? We have to calculate Reynolds number in the case of forced convection and Grashof number in the case of natural convection. So in the case of natural convection, Grashof number. In the case of forced convection, Reynolds number you have to calculate. What is the advantage of calculating this Grashof number or Prandtl number is, we can decide in the given length of the surface. So here, what nature of flow is taking place? Is it laminar flow happening? Is it turbulent flow is happening? Or both laminar and turbulent are happening? We can decide. So we can know. So what nature of flow is taking place? Only laminar is happening or laminar and turbulent is happening? We can decide just by calculating Reynolds number or Grashof number. Also, you must look at the values of Prandtl numbers given there in the problems. So then, using of all these constraints, you need to select the appropriate Nusselt number relation. This is what is called as empirical correlation also. So empirical correlation means, so the relationship between this number in terms of Reynolds number and Prandtl number only from experiments. That is what is the relation, we call it as empirical relation. That empirical relation, we take it from the data book. So after getting the Nusselt number, that we will equate it to HL by K. HL by K means, this is NU bar means average Nusselt number. All the times you need to calculate average heat transfer coefficient, average Nusselt number values. Average Nusselt number after obtaining, that is equated as average heat transfer coefficient. L is characteristic length. Otherwise, the length over which the fluid is in contact. So that is what is characteristic length. This is fluid thermal conductivity Kf. So here, so you might have seen either the Thermal conductivity of the fluid while estimating the Reynolds number. Reynolds number also while estimating, what is that we are using? U infinity into characteristic length divided by nu. Nu for the fluid we are using. So nu where to be taken? All these properties, even Frenkel number also you must know, I told you. Frenkel number value is also required. Where to be taken? Either the Frenkel number or the thermal conductivity or the nu value. This is nu value. You must take it at a temperature called as film temperature. Especially in the case of fractional flow, you need to take all the properties at film temperature. Film temperature, that means that is neither the solid temperature nor the free stream temperature. Instead, this is the temperature possessed by the fluid particles within the boundary layer. So this is the average temperature possessed by the fluid layers within the boundary layer. Above the boundary layer, again the temperature is T infinity. Above the boundary layer, the temperature is T infinity. So between the solid surface and the boundary layer thickness, the temperature of the fluid is Ts plus T infinity by 2, that is film temperature. In the case of fractional flow, you need to take the properties at film temperature. In the case of fractional flow, you must get the properties at film temperature, that is Ts plus T infinity by 2. In the case of internal flow, you must get the temperature of the fluid at bulk temperature. Bulk temperature in the sense means that is the temperature possessed by whole number of fluid particles. So within the tube or pipe, that is average temperature of the fluid particle. That is, if the entry temperature of the fluid particles is Ti, exit temperature of the fluid particles is T naught, average temperature, this is what is bulk temperature we call it as. This is the temperature possessed by whole number of fluid particles inside. Whole number of fluid particles inside. Whole number of fluid particles inside. So that is what. So in the case of internal flow, you need to take the properties at bulk temperature. In the case of fractional flow, you need to take the properties at film temperature. These must be remembered. After knowing these things, let us consider the problems and try to work out them. You see here, I told you. So when applied the dimensional analysis for a forced convection, you see here the Nusselt number we have derived as a function of Reynolds number and Prandtl number. Any kind of forced convection problem, whether the forced convection is happening on a flat surface, whether the forced convection is happening on a cylindrical surface, whether the forced convection is happening on a spherical surface, whether the forced convection is happening on a spherical surface, or whether the forced convection is happening on a bundle of tubes. Everywhere also the Nusselt number will have the relation in terms of Reynolds number and Prandtl number. So depending upon the actual physical situation, the relation will change. So the relationship between Nusselt number and Reynolds number and Prandtl number changes. So here, that is what is the case. Then, so after applying this dimensional analysis, in the case of laminar flow, the boundary layer thickness is obtained as like this. This also is available in the data book. You need not remember any of these formulas. If we have the data book and open it and see external flows, forced convection, you can find out all the relations that are given there in the data book. So this is boundary layer thickness. Hydrodynamic boundary layer thickness. How do you get it? 5 into x. X is the length of the plate or position of, at what position you are getting the boundary layer thickness. Position of the plate. This is Reynolds number at that location to the power minus 0.5 or minus 1 by 2. So this is the relation given. So available in the data book also. Using this at x distance of the plate. So plate already we have seen. So at one entry region will be there, one exit region will be there. The entry region we call it as leading edge, exit region we call it as trailing edge. So this is leading edge and trailing edge are these are. So this is the starting location where the fluid is trying to enter on. So this is the location where the fluid will leave from the plate surface. So this location we call it as, so this is leading edge. We call it as leading edge. This we call it as trailing edge. From where it is leaving, so from where it is entering. Leading edge, trailing edge. So from leading edge, the position of X is anywhere else along the length. Maybe here or maybe here or maybe here. So we can use that location. At that location, by calculating Reynolds number, we will estimate the boundary layer thickness. The boundary layer thickness estimate there. So that is what is the relation. What is the skin friction coefficient? So here between the fluid layers, so having velocity gradient, so automatically shear stress will establish. Shear stress will establish means, so that is skin friction will be established. What is the friction coefficient? We call it as skin friction coefficient. That also is derived, so is also available in the data book. Also is available straight away. We can use it. So this is 0.0 at any particular location from the leading edge, 0.664 into Reynolds number to the power minus 0.5. So then, as I told you, so there is also a relation between, so velocity boundary layer and thermal boundary layer. So these are all derived from the dimensional analysis. So I don't do the entire derivation. So only final conclusions I am presenting here. So this is what is the relation between hydrodynamic boundary layer to thermal boundary layer is Frenkel number to the power 1 by 3. Frenkel number to the, knowing the hydrodynamic boundary layer at the same location, how do you get the thermal boundary layer means we use this relation. So then we are saying average Nusselt number for external flows is obtained as 0.664, Reynolds number to the power 1 by 2 or 0.5, Frenkel number to the power 1 by 3, that is 0.33. Also some textbooks or data books they have given. You can, as it is, can be taken from the data book. You can substitute, get the value of Nusselt number. Nusselt number we have got using this relation, that by equating to h bar x by k. From here, average heat transfer coefficient we are getting. This is location up temperature for internal flows. All these by obtaining, this is what I have written also. Fluid properties are taken at film temperature. After getting average heat transfer coefficient, then how do you calculate what is the average heat transfer rate taken place is using the Newton's law of cooling or heating, that is equal to Q equal to HA into TW minus T infinity. This H value is average heat transfer coefficient. Suppose if the fluid is having contact on one side of the contact area must be taken. Both sides of the solid surface, if it has contact, means 2 times of one side contact area, that is surface area, we must take it. So that is how we have to change the value of A. Only one side of the fluid, suppose over a flat rectangular plate, one side the fluid is flowing only, so length into width of the rectangular plate. Otherwise both sides by having contact, see the heat transfer is taken place, 2 times of length into width must be taken. So that is what is the case. Next is, so after knowing this, we will enter into the problems. You just see air at 20 degrees is flowing along a heated plate at 34 degrees, 134 degrees at a velocity of 3 meter per second. The plate is 2 meter long, 1.5 meter wide. So the plate dimensions are given 2 meter long and 1.5 meter width. This is of 1.5 meter. This is of 2 meter. Calculate the thickness of boundary layer and the skin friction coefficient at 40 centimeters from the leading edge. You see here, which is the leading edge? This is what is the leading edge. So this is the location where the fluid is trying to enter on. So this is the location where the fluid is trying to enter on. Air is trying to enter on, leading edge we call. So though it has 2 meters, they are asking you to calculate the boundary layer thickness at x equal to, you just see, that is 40 centimeters or 0.4 meters. So even though it has 2 meters distance, so only at a distance of 0.4 meters they are asking you to calculate thickness of boundary layer and skin friction coefficient. Given the kinematic viscosity nu also, they have asked you to calculate this. How do you calculate? So boundary layer thickness at x equal to 0.4 they are asking, skin friction coefficient at 0.4 they are asking. The same thing I have presented physically like this. So first at x equal to zero point 0.4 meters, this is what is. So where x equal to zero point 0.4. So at x equal to 0.4 I am calculating. U infinity is 3, this is. So this is 3.4. So kinematic viscosity nu, the Reynolds number equal to U infinity into x by nu, that is what is estimated as 7.9 into 10 to the power 4. 7.9 into 10 to the power 4. 7.9 into 10 to the power 4, which is less than 5 into 10 to the power 5. 5 into 10 to the power 5. Therefore, in a given length of x equal to 0.4 meters, the flow is laminar. So, while getting this scan, so very poorly it has recorded. Okay, I will share this material otherwise also. The flow is laminar. So, now we have decided. So, for laminar flow, velocity is given. The forced convection problem it is. Since velocity is given, it is a forced convection problem. So, it is external flow problem, and within the given length laminar flow is taken place, and the Frenkel number also if you see how much we have got. So Frenkel number also, okay, it is not given, no matter. So then what is the boundary layer thickness we can calculate? Boundary layer thickness we can get it as, this is what is delta equal to 5x into Rex to the power minus 0.5. So what is the boundary layer thickness we have got? 7.1 millimeters. You see here at a distance of 40 centimeters or 0.4 meters, the boundary layer development is 7.1 millimeter. So that means for understanding sake only at larger heights we have presented the heights. Otherwise the boundary layer developments are less than 1 centimeters always, or less than 10 millimeters practically. So this is what is at the, so expected value of 0.4 meters or 40 centimeters. The boundary layer thickness is 7.1 millimeters. At the same location, skin friction coefficient equal to, the relation is already available, 0.664, Reynolds number to the power minus 1 by 2. I have got it as 2.36 into 10 power minus 3. So is a coefficient. There are no units. 2.36 into 10 power minus 3. Otherwise, this value equal to 0.00236. Its value equal to 0.00236. That is the coefficient of friction for the fluid. For the same problem, what they are asking? For the same problem, calculate the local heat transfer coefficient. Local heat transfer coefficient means at a distance, only at a distance of, only at, not up to, only at a distance of x equal to 0.4 meters, whatever heat transfer coefficient we are getting, that is local heat transfer coefficient. At is different. At is only local heat transfer coefficient, and up to is up to means that is average heat transfer coefficient. If you use the word up to, h bar will come. If you use the word at, local heat transfer coefficient, sometimes it is simply written as s, x, h, otherwise hx. We will write that. So this is how. So what they are asking is at a distance of 0.4 meters. You see at x equal to 0.4 meters, the heat transfer coefficient estimated is local heat transfer coefficient, and the heat transferred from the first 40 centimeters, from the first 40 centimeters means, so in a total of 40 centimeters, that means up to 40 centimeters, what is the heat transfer between plate and the fluid? That is up to So therefore you separately have to calculate local, you also have to calculate average. Local heat transfer coefficient must be calculated, average heat transfer coefficient must be calculated. So to do this, so being the external flow, the properties must be obtained at a film temperature. Film temperature is plate is at a temperature of 134, fluid is at a temperature of 20, and average temperature is 77 degrees centigrade. And at 77 degrees centigrade, since air is the fluid, so you must take the properties from data book. So if you open the data book for air at different temperatures, the properties are given. For air, the properties are given for air. So the properties are given in the data book. So those are taken directly from the data book after noting down, and at a position of 0.4 local heat transfer coefficient up to a distance of 0.4 average heat transfer coefficient we have to estimate first. So what is the Reynolds number that is calculated? So up to a distance of 0.4 meters, 5.78 into 10 power minus 4, which is less than 5 into 10 to the power 5. Therefore, so even up to 0.4 also laminar flow is taken place. For laminar flow, local Nusselt number to find it is available in the data book. This is the relation straight away available from the HMT data book. HMT data book. HMT data book. So local Nusselt number that we have equated to local Nusselt number into local position divided by K. So from there, local Nusselt number is calculated as H 5.3. This is local heat transfer coefficient, local convective heat transfer coefficient. Average heat transfer coefficient will be 2 times of local heat transfer. So this is H bar equal to, for external flows, this is also available in the data book, you don't worry. So this is also available. So H bar equal to 2 times of local heat transfer coefficient. This is local, this is average. After getting the local heat transfer coefficient, this is average heat transfer coefficient. Average coefficient equal to 2 times of local heat transfer coefficient, then it has become 10.6 watt per meter square. After getting the average heat transfer coefficient, so that is substituted in Newton's law of heating or cooling. So Q equal to H bar A into temperature difference, where to where, solid to fluid, 134 minus 20. So how much is the convective heat transfer taken place is 725 watts. This is how any problem also has to be calculated. Any problem also has to be calculated. You see here, next problem is air at a pressure of 8 kilonewton per, so here air at a pressure of 8 kilonewton per meter square and at a temperature of 250 flows over a flat plate. It is external flow. External flow having the plate dimensions of 0.3 meters wide and 1 meter long, and the air is flowing at a velocity of 8 meters per second. So the velocity is given, therefore the given problem comes under forced convection. It is flowing externally, so this is external flow, and the plate dimensions are given. So while the air is entering, it has the pressure of 8 kilonewton per meter square. In the earlier case, no such condition is given with regard to pressure. When no pressure is given, that is defaultly at atmospheric pressure. But here, this is other than atmospheric pressure, but at a pressure of 8 kilonewtons per meter square, the air is entering onto the plate surface. If the plate is to be maintained at a temperature of, this is Ts, 78 degrees, estimate the rate of heat. So they are asking you to calculate. So in the data book also, while taking the properties, they are available only at a P atmosphere. They are available at a P atmosphere, but in the present problem, but at different pressure they are asking the properties. They are at different pressure. Other than the atmospheric pressure, the air is entering. Therefore, at the given pressure, you need to get the properties from the data book. So that I am getting. So the film temperature, being the external flow, the film temperature is the temperature at which we have to take the properties. This is the plate temperature, this is the air temperature. Then, so average is taken to be 78 plus 250 by 2, 164 from the data book for dry air. So there are the list of properties given. From the data book they are there for dry air. For dry air, so this is what is, the all properties are given at different temperatures. The properties are given for dry air. So you must take it from the data book accordingly. So what is the property? What are the properties they have taken up? You just see here. At 1 atmosphere, they have taken nu is this much, Prandtl number is this much, thermal conductivity is this much, specific heat is this much. All are given. But we require at a pressure of different value. So what is the relation between? So the air behaves as ideal gas. From the ideal gas equation of state, what can be written? PV equal to MRT. Otherwise, what is the relation between rho and P? What is the relation between rho and P? So M by V can be written as rho. So therefore P equal to rho RT. Therefore relation between pressure and density. Relation between pressure and density is P is proportionate to rho. P is proportionate to rho. So that is what is. Then what is the relation between rho and nu? So since nu equal to mu by rho, this already you have studied in fluid mechanics. Nu equal to mu by rho. Nu is inversely proportional to rho. Already rho is observed to be a proportionate to P. Therefore nu is indirectly proportionate to 1 by P. Nu is indirectly proportionate to 1 by P. But we require the nu value at 8 kilonewton per meter square, not at 1 atmosphere. Therefore, when you know the nu value at atmospheric pressure, what is the nu value? What is the nu value at the given pressure of 8 kilonewton per meter square? That we can get it. So we have already taken at P of 1 atmosphere, the nu value is this much. If you assume this as nu 1, so when P1 equal to P atmosphere, when P1 equal to P atmosphere, nu 1 is this much. When P equal to different value, so then what is the nu2 value that I have got it? Nu2 value I have got it as 3.9 into 10 power minus 4 meter square per second. I know at the given pressure what are all the properties. So then from there Reynolds number is calculated to decide the nature of flow. So the estimated value is found to be less than 5 into 10 to the power 5. So in a given length the flow is laminar. In a given length the flow is laminar. Then what is average heat transfer coefficient? That is equal to, so 2 times of local heat transfer coefficient. 2 times of local heat transfer coefficient. Local heat transfer coefficient, how do you calculate? This is what. So all by substituting, average heat transfer coefficient is obtained as 3.04 watt per meter square Kelvin. So average heat transfer coefficient after obtaining. So what is that they have asked in the problem? What is that they have asked in the problem? Estimate the rate of heat to be removed continuously from the plate. Continuously from the plate means in the total length of the plate, what is the heat dissipated? So that's value. So here, both sides it has contact. If you see here, if the plate is to be air at a pressure of this temperature flows over a plate, on either sides it is flowing. Therefore, so heat transfer rate is taken as 2 times by having contacts, 2 times the area is taken. 2 times the area is taken. H bar is just now calculated as 3.04. 2 into what is surface area on one side is 1 into 0.3. Temperature difference 250 minus 78. So that value is missed here. That is how we will estimate. That is how we will estimate the heat transfer. Hope you have understood. I will be closing here. So this is very simplest way of solving any convection problem. If you have the textbook with you, data book with you, following steps I have discussed here, first to decide whether the given problem comes under natural flow or natural convection or forced convection depending upon the velocity. Then decide whether the flow is of external or internal. Then estimate what is Reynolds number. So Reynolds number by calculating we will come to know. So within the given length whether the flow is laminar or turbulent. After that you also estimate the, for external flows estimate the film temperature, for internal flows estimate the bulk temperature. So then at bulk temperature or at film temperature, get the properties from the data book for the given fluid. So after fixing of all these constraints, so looking at the empirical relations given in the data book, select the appropriate relation. So using that Nusselt number, calculate the average heat transfer coefficient. After getting the average heat transfer coefficient, we will calculate so the average heat transfer rate over the flat surface. So that is the amount of heat transferred between the solid surface and the fluid. Hope you have understood. Tomorrow's class we will discuss about, so that is analogy. Analogy means relation between momentum and energy transfer. So that means momentum and energy transfer. When the fluid is moving over the plate surface, so it will experience the shear stresses. Otherwise, shear stresses are velocity gradient. So that is existed between the fluid layers. So then coefficient of friction will come into picture. When momentum is happening between the fluid layers, some coefficient of friction will be experienced. So the relation between coefficient of friction and the heat transfer. Heat transfer means H value. Heat transfer is, so that is represented in terms of estimation of heat transfer coefficient, average heat transfer coefficient. The relation between, so due to fluid momentum, we will experience coefficient of friction. Due to energy momentum or energy transfer, we will experience the average heat transfer coefficient. The relation between the coefficient of friction and the heat transfer coefficient, that is what is known as analogy. Analogy. So for the case of Frenkel number equal to 1, for Frenkel number, so other than 1, for Frenkel number other than 1, that may be greater than 1, that may be less than 1, and for Frenkel number equal to 1, Frenkel number equal to 1 is the case of the gases while flowing over the surfaces. So Frenkel number other than 1 means that may be of lubricant oils, that may be of what is that liquid metals over the surfaces. For those cases, and we are trying to get the relationship between coefficient of friction and the heat transfer coefficient. This part we will discuss it by tomorrow. Hope you have understood. I will be closing. 1 minute, don't leave. So don't leave. 1 minute, I am sharing. So shall I share the material? Shall I share the material? Shall I share the material here? Whatever we have discussed, shall I share this material? Okay, okay, I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. Okay, thank you. I am closing.